Imagine an entire tribe surrounded by heavily armed enemies. Modern rifles, machine guns, grenades. The attackers expect quick surrender or slaughter. Instead, not one gunshot is fired. Not one bullet is wasted. The tribe wins. How? This is the real story of the Semai people of Malaysia during the Malayan Emergency, 1948 to 1960. Communist insurgents and British colonial forces swept through their rainforest home. Both sides carried guns. The Semai carried nothing lethal, no weapons at all. They survived by mastering nonviolent defense so extreme it baffled armed militias. Tactics included complete avoidance, vanishing into jungle before contact, leaving no trace, psychological terror, planting false trails, making attackers think they were walking into ambushes, strategic non-cooperation, refusing to guide, feed, or shelter either side, starving armies of local support, moral deterrence, openly declaring pacifism while showing unbreakable will. Enemies hesitated to massacre peaceful people who never fought back. Community resilience, shared suffering, rapid relocation, rebuilding in hours. Result? While neighboring groups suffered heavy casualties, the Semai lost almost no one to direct violence. 0 gunshots fired by them. 0 recorded deaths from combat. They outlasted a brutal guerrilla war through pure non-resistance and cunning evasion. This wasn't cowardice. It was calculated genius. In a world obsessed with firepower, they proved the deadliest weapon can be refusing to fight at all. What if the most shocking survival tactic isn't killing, but never even trying? The Semai are one of the Orang Asli indigenous groups in peninsular Malaysia, deep in the rainforest of Perak and Pahang states. They lived as semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers and swidden farmers. Their core cultural value, Punan, non-violence, avoiding conflict at all costs. No weapons beyond blowpipes for hunting small game. No tradition of warfare. When the Malayan Emergency erupted in 1948, the British declared war on communist insurgents hiding in the jungle. Both communists and colonial forces needed local knowledge, food, porters. They pressured Orang Asli groups for support. Some tribes resisted violently and suffered massacres. The Semai chose a different path. They applied Punan literally and strategically. Immediate flight. Upon hearing approaching footsteps or helicopters, entire bands dispersed silently into denser forest. 0 cooperation. Refused to provide rice, guides, intelligence, even under threat. Deception without violence. Created fake camps, misleading trails that looped back or ended at cliffs/swamps. Passive resistance. If captured, they remained calm, answered minimally, never betrayed others. Rapid adaptation. Rebuilt shelters in hours, foraged efficiently, kept group cohesion through shared songs and stories. This wasn't passive surrender. It was active non-engagement designed to make occupation too costly and frustrating. Armed groups burned empty villages, found no one to interrogate, wasted ammunition on shadows. Over time, both sides learned. Forcing the Semai yielded nothing but exhaustion and bad publicity. By the war's end in 1960, while other Orang Asli groups lost dozens to violence, Semai casualties from direct conflict were near 0. They preserved their way of life through refusal to participate in someone else's war. This tactic challenges everything we assume about survival in conflict zones. Strength isn't always in fighting back. Sometimes it's in disappearing so completely that the enemy gives up. The war's grip tightened, forcing impossible choices that tested the Semai's nonviolence to its core. Communist insurgents first. Desperate for recruits and supplies, they raided Semai villages. Armed men demanded food, guides, loyalty. Refusal meant threats, torches to huts, beatings, executions as examples. One band fled deeper into jungle, but pursuers tracked them for days. Exhaustion set in, children crying, elders weakening. A twist, insurgents ambushed by British buying time. But the Semai knew, staying meant becoming pawns. British response escalated. Hearts and minds turned brutal. They relocated Semai to fortified camps, cutting off freedom. Guards enforced curfews. Escapees shot as suspected communists. In one incident, a Semai group slipped away at night, only to hear gunfire behind, friends caught, labeled traitors. Suspense built. Would evasion fail? Families separated in chaos. Whispers of betrayal from pressured kin. Non-cooperation's cost. Hunger from burned fields, disease in hiding. Emotional toll mounted, fear of capture. Guilt over abandoned homes. Yet, a revelation. Enemies grew frustrated, wasting resources on ghosts. Insurgents labeled Semai unreliable. Shifting focus. British propaganda backfired. Massacring pacifists drew international scorn. Turning point. A Semai elder confronted armed patrol unarmed, declaring Punan. Soldiers hesitated, lowered weapons, moral victory. But tension peaked in close calls. Patrols inches from hidden groups, hearts pounding in silence. The conflict wasn't battles. It was psychological warfare where Semai's calm defiance eroded invaders' will. One slip, noise, track, and annihilation. They walked the edge, emotions raw. Terror mixed with quiet pride and outsmarting violence without stooping to it. Through endless evasion, the Semai confronted deeper wounds, not of body, but of soul and society, that reshaped their unbreakable spirit. Families torn in hurried flights. Parents clutching children, leaving behind ancestral graves, heirloom tools. Grief swelled, homes torched, crops razed. Yet in hidden clearings, elders whispered Punan tales, binding fear into unity. One mother, separated from her son during a raid, endured weeks of anguish, visions of capture haunting sleep. Reunion brought tears, but also resolve. Nonviolence demanded sacrifice, forging empathy amid loss. External pressures mounted. Disease from constant movement, malnutrition from forsaken fields. Children grew thin, elders frail. Internal doubt crept, whispers of fight back from the desperate. An elder faced this crisis, confronting a wavering youth, sharing stories of past wars where violence devoured tribes. Reflection deepened. Punan wasn't weakness. It was wisdom, preserving life over vengeance. Community rituals adapted. Silent songs under stars, shared foraging that rebuilt trust. Emotional hits compounded, guilt over neutral stance when neighbors suffered, isolation in vast jungle. But these forged resilience. Rapid rebuilding became art, turning transience into strength. The true development. Nonviolence evolved from instinct to philosophy. Individuals grappled with fear's grip, emerging with quiet power. One captured Semai, interrogated harshly, stayed calm. His release sowed doubt in captors. Empathy bloomed. Understanding enemies' frustrations humanized them, reducing hatred. These internal battles didn't destroy, they tempered. Tribes like Semai survived not despite challenges, but through them, emotions raw, spirits honed. We've forgotten. True survival often lies in enduring the heart's war, not the battlefields. The twist unfolds. The Semai's nonviolent tactic didn't just survive the war. It influenced modern peace strategies, proving disarmament can defeat arms. Their evasion mirrored Gandhi's satyagraha, but in jungle shadows. Post-war, anthropologists studied Punan, inspiring conflict resolution models. Today, it echoes in nonviolent resistance. Hong Kong protests, civil rights marches, even cyber avoidance in digital wars. The Semai showed, refusing battle denies the enemy victory. No glory in chasing ghosts. Climax revelation. In a firepower era, the shocking tactic is invisibility and moral high ground. Armed forces exhausted resources. Public opinion turned against brutality on pacifists. By 1960, communists weakened, British withdrew. Semai remained, culture intact, reflective open. What if we applied this to today's conflicts? Guns escalate, vanishing de-escalates. The Semai remind, survival isn't conquest, it's outlasting. Could you live without fighting back? In crises, would evasion save you? Drop a comment. What's the most surprising non-violent win you've heard? Like if this changed your view on war, share with a skeptic, subscribe for more hidden history tactics that flip the script. Bell on. Next, tribes that won with whispers, not weapons.